Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Coach Bugs. My man Mike G's behind me. He's going to be navigating all my slide decks for me. And I got Coach Brown on. If there's things going in the chat while I'm talking, Coach Brown will try to answer them. But no matter what, we will get those questions answered. The goal today is for me to go through the whole process of what we're doing for One World Bowl. And I'm going to touch on recruiting very little bit. I'm going to touch on a bunch of it in the country. Hey, but Mike, do me a favor, bring up my slides for me. All right, so guys, I just took over Team America this year in the fall, and we kind of revamping it. And here's the deal. It's an evolution right now because we want to grow this to where it comes to the recruiting base of what needs to happen. Now, I'm the recruiting coordinator for Durant High School, but I'm also the recruiter for the All United States 10th grade team and the One World team. I am the college recruiter for that. So everybody that comes on my team, I look at them, we will get an evaluation. We're going to work through what they need to do. We're going to be looking at whether they need to go D3, NIA, and D1. And I'll cover all that in country, but the key things about it is I'm going to cover a couple things in the slide that'll kind of bring things home for everybody that's involved as we get ready to go through this. All right, so the agenda today, normally the welcome. I'm going to cover the travel. I'm going to cover our local transportation, hotels, and event list. So everything will be in there, and the websites that you need to click on and whatever you need to do to be part of this. All right, so welcome to the One World team. It's been around a while. Let me just be clear. I just took over to coaching the team this year. But what I realized was that all the kids from the States were coming over, getting all the glory, getting a lot of accolades. And so the goal was this year, which was a change, was to get kids from DoD schools or DoDEA, and American kids from the United States and bring them together. And here's the reason why. American students in the United States have ample opportunities to go to camps. Now, let me be very clear. Camps right now in the States, the camp they just had in Florida, there was running $800 for one weekend, and it was only one day. There's another camp happening. It is $1,200, and it's a tackle camp, and the camp is only running for a day and a half. I am telling you, the amount of money that people are throwing at going to camps in the States is crazy. And I'm trying to tell you the cost effectiveness of what we're trying to do here is, one, if the kids that come from the States that are going to Europe, it's more about the experience playing foreign teams, being on the Team USA, and getting the exposure to put on their resume. Because high school football has become a business as of yesterday, because Florida itself today is going to ask for high school students to get NIL money. There are 29 states that already allow high school students to get paid to play football in high school. So that's why you're seeing 18-year-old students right now driving Lambos, is because this is becoming a business now. And NIL has changed the landscape. Florida is one of the few states that still restricts high school students from getting paid. They're working through that, and if it hits, it's going to change the dynamic. How does that impact the kids in Europe? It impacts you greatly, because you get less exposure. Because I want to show a couple of different tapes. Kids in the States are able to hire other high school kids who are media moguls to market themselves. And then most of the kids that you're seeing 5 stars, there's only 32 of them. I'll cover that another time. But they have a marketing team behind them. If anybody knows about Livy Dunn, the college player that's making millions and millions of dollars in gymnastics, she has a media team behind them. The days of just having fun is still there, but there is a price tag to go with some of it. For us, we're trying to keep the price tag away from the parents. So everything we've done, and everybody that's kind of worked with us, hotels cost no matter where you travel. So people are paying $1,200 to go attend a camp, and they're paying $1,000 to travel there. One of my daughters is a gold medalist, paid stupid money for that. And then my other daughter is a travel soccer player, but she's in college now, paid stupid money during the time she had to go to tournaments all over the United States. It's just the nature of the business now. And even though I hate the model, it is what it is. All right. So one thing about it is we're trying to promote the exposure of kids in the DoD schools, but also the American kids, give them something to amp their resume, but also build relationships with the other foreign players from around the world. All right, so I'm going to touch on this real quick. ID camps versus bowls. Here's the deal. ID camps, normally you don't wear any gear. You show up, you get your speed time, your vertical, you do your shuttle run, you do all your accolades to show if you got agility or speed. Your bowls are where you make your money. When you attend a bowl, Most colleges guys know that there's about 10 guys that can run a 4.3, or there's 5 guys that can run 4.5s or 5.5s. They see that. The question is, how are you against another opponent? This is where you make your money, and this is where I tell high school kids, there's nothing wrong. Try to get as many reps as you can and exposure as you can in pads against an opponent that's better than you. It's better to lose from a freshman, sophomore, and junior year, and by your senior year, be really good. Your junior year is a critical point. Do not get me wrong in when I'm telling you this. Your junior year is critical. However, a lot of students in their junior year they look at what they want to do, and they need to look at what helps the team. Because one thing they ask for, first thing, are you coachable? Second thing they ask, are you a dual player? Can you play other positions? And second is, do you work on your agility and speed? They do not really worry about the weight room anymore. I'm just going to tell you, those days are gone. They worry about if a student is fast. Next is exposure. And as the video, like you see the poster here that we're going to be putting out for each of the players as we get down the road here. That's where we're at today. Marketing, guys. IG, Instagram, X, Twitter, what they call it, X now. Those two platforms are, Facebook has kind of gone away, but people still use it. The older generation, mine, because I'm almost 60. But I'm telling you right now, if you get on Instagram and you look on X, the amount of videos right now put out for football players on exposure, it does matter. Parents, do not just be a person that watches your kid play. You need to always be getting video on your kid. In the States, they have an unfair advantage. They hire people to come out and they videotape their kid, and they have that footage, and then they put it in a huddle. Some of the schools have huddle. Huddles are a great tool, or quick cuts, great tool. And then the other thing is, you got to be able to cut that film really good and market it. We are trying to get a media team to help us in Germany right now. The two teams we normally would use are tied up dealing with helping stuff with the war that's going on in the region. And so most of those guys who are freelancers are out of the net right now. So we're going to try to work through getting somebody with some footage. So if you know someone, and yeah, we're trying to pay them something. If you know someone that does video footage, and if they're a soldier or a sailor or a mom or a spouse or somebody there that does it as a hobby, please get them in contact with me, because the persons we normally use from some guys from AFN or a couple other different media outlets that do it on the side, they're tied up right now. So let me talk about something. All right, so Rivals, Big County Preps, there's all these different agencies out there right now that your kid they market to your kid to pay all this money to go to their camp. So let me get with a nomenclature here. They invite 5-star and 4-star students free of charge to come to their camps. And what happens is everybody floods to that camp because those guys are there thinking they're going to get that exposure. All right, it's sometimes, say the word, not against anybody here personally on their thing, but it's a money grab. There are companies like right now we're working with. NCSA just contacted us. I contacted them. We're working with them, and we're trying to work it out, contract. So military, people with reduced lunch, and people that are really low income get discounts for using the program, working with our bowl game. So we got a contract. We're going through it right now. Hopefully we have something solidified before I get in country. But right now, we're going to try to work through NCSA. They've been the longest recruiting company around. My daughter went through them and got recruited. She's playing D2 soccer, and I've put multiple kids through the program of using them. And the one good thing about it, they give webinars on the side for free. They try to help students get recruited. And let me tell you something now, parents. Recruiting is a full-time parent-student business. It is a full-time job. You cannot send one email and think it's going to happen. And I'm going to leave recruiting alone, but I just wanted to touch on you that how important it is when you guys go in to start doing things, looking at what you're doing and what you're going to get your money for. Every kid that plays, 30 kids that play on this team, I am going to actually reach out to a bunch of different colleges, put them on a prospect sheet, and say they need to start looking at these students. Even if they're a sophomore or freshman, because it starts literally their sophomore year, they start looking at getting recruited. Doesn't matter if it's NIA. It's that competitive. All right, so the One World team is that we look through getting everybody selected. People send emails. Some of the kids played in the all United States game, so we already know where they sit. And it's about getting selected to represent the U.S. to go against the rest of the world. It's a big honor, guys. It's not something you just shake your head and say, yeah, I'm on the team. So our goal is right now is to get there this year and try to get the trophy back from Mexico. Team Mexico won it, and we got to put a decent team together to go back and get it. And that's what I think we got right now. The roster's coming together. I got a couple coaches in Germany that still need to give me the names, and UK of the players that were coming. But right now, we're sitting at about 20 players between Italy, United States, about 20. We're trying to carry 30. So if we can get a few more, I need a couple more linemen. We're working that. I got a couple linemen coming out of Texas, but I do need a couple more linemen that I would feel comfortable with. I like being a little deep. We play 8 games, and that's 2 games a day. And I'll get into that down the road. So that's why we need to be a little deep. We can't be. I'm trying not to be a one-person deep team. All right. So here's the admin schedule. So you got selection. Then you had your registration. You must be in high school, and it's U16 plus. That's all the way. So it's really the high school. You could be a freshman on my team, or you could be a senior. Most of the freshmen have their own group they're going to be running with. So I pretty much got sophomores to seniors. The registration is $250 for your uniform. All travel is on you to get there, but your uniform, it covers your 2 uniforms, and I'll cover that when the sizes on the uniforms here in a second. And insurance. When you go on, you have to register and hit the U16 button here. And I know it says 14. I didn't make the website, but I just roll with it, people. I just roll with it. All right. Now, in the uniforms, what I got to do is I'm going to have to put an Excel sheet together, and I have a timeline of everybody that's sizes for the uniform, shirts, and the grab bags and the stuff that you're going to get, because they get a little kit and a little bit of cool stuff that comes with it when they're on the team. And so we got to get that ironed out. So when they get there, and we got to bring all that stuff from the United States. So your uniforms, once we order them, we'll pack them up in Texas, and they'll bring them to Germany. And we want to make sure everybody has uniform. That's why I wanted to make sure I get people registered, and then I'll make sure by a close date I have everybody's sizes. And if I got your email from you and I write you and say I need your sizes, don't beat me up, because I get 100 emails and I'm just going back, because one thing is I'm double checking to make sure that I get it right. And it's better to bother you 4 times to get it right than assume not want to bother you twice and then get it wrong. So that's my point on that. All right. So pretty much the snapshot of the schedule is going to be, most recommended is depart on the 28th of March, arrive on the 29th. That's all up to you guys. Some people are taking vacations. I'll already be on the ground. I'll arrive on the 26th. I'll already be there. I'll be in Frankfurt area, Kaiserslautern. Then by the 31st of March, I will be in Amstead. I'll be there, when waiting on everybody to get there. I will also be around with everybody having my phone number. I'm going to send out a phone list. Coach Castle has a app we're going to use so everybody can communicate. So it's effective communication. So everybody can be on the communication. So there's no confusion on what we need to do and what's going on. So to keep everybody up to date. So we're working through that to make which app we're going to use. All right. And then we're going to have a team meet and greet on the 2nd. April 3rd is going to be a full practice, and I'll cover the schedule because I got a deep schedule coming in the next couple slides. And then it's April 4th through 7 are the games. All right. So how do we get there to show up and be able to compete? All right. So before I'm not there yet, let me stay with this. So if you fly into Frankfurt, which is the biggest airport to get up to north where we're going, because all the other airports are pretty expensive, you can take the train up, and it's normally about 45 to 65 euros. And then if you can stay in Frankfurt on the way back, these are hotels. I will send the slides. I would recommend at the end of the thing, take the train back down, stay in a hotel in Frankfurt. And then there's the prices here. I will send this out so you guys got them. You can go on Expedia and book them. And then that way you can fly out that morning. You don't have to go 3 hours down. You're there the next day, get up, get on your plane, and then fly back to the United States. But I will have all this sent out to everybody. A lot of the people are going to travel to Europe, so they don't need my help. All right. And then in the hotels for Amsterdam, which everybody keeps asking me. All right. There's on the list on the website, there's a ton of hotels. This is the one I recommend, X Hotel. I didn't make the name of it. All right. X Hotel. It's the most reasonable one. The price is right there. Also, Lindenhof is pretty pricey, and it's got some closed dates. So for some reason, and then it has some open dates, but it's pretty pricey. But there's about 30 other hotels you can stay at. The local bus, once we know what hotel everybody's in, it will be riding around picking everybody or the players up. The players do not have to get themselves to the field. Now, however you guys rent cars or do anything on the side, that's up to you. I recommend everybody make sure that you go get an international driver's license from AAA. I'm going to have Coach Casco get one. I got one. I washed it in the dryer when I got back from Austria at my daughter's wedding, so I'm going to have to go redo it. But have an international driver's license. And so and make sure you have my contact. If anybody runs into a problem, I will definitely not make sure you're stranded anywhere because I'm leaving after everybody else leaves. My goal is to make sure everybody has a great experience and to make sure that you get where you need to get to. And I'm not one person to be worried about being inconvenienced. So do not think you're going to burden me with anything because the goal is for you to come there with your family, the money you've spent, your child to play and get field time like they're supposed to and enjoy the experience and then take something away from this that's forever in their life and something they can talk to their grandkids about because that's what this is all about at the end, and I can't stress that enough. All right, so the calendar that I will be sending out is I will send the playbook out on the 4th of March. That means to all the players that are on offense that we designated for offense will get the playbook. Defensive players, Coach Castle will start going over that when we start doing the Zooms because defense and offense are a little bit different. They'll be working on their calls, how he wants everybody to stack up, where he thinks he sees everybody, because we've done this multiple times for different other bowl games, and so we got a process. All right, so Zoom will have a skills call, and that's quarterbacks, receivers, and running backs. Why? And tight ends. And fullbacks, because that is the hardest group I have to get together because running offense is no easy thing. So we'll work on terminology, starting to make sure that they understand what they've looked through in the playbook. So all these times where you see no gaps and no meetings, this is their study time. This is for them to learn the playbook, reach back to me on email or call me and say, hey, Coach, I got a question. So this is definitely self-development. And listen, this process is really great because this is kind of like college. Because there's film time, there's self-development time, and then there's time you got to go and learn on your own and then come back with questions here. If your kid doesn't have, like my daughter says in college soccer, if she doesn't have her notebook taking notes during the time they're going over her evaluations and her film, there's a problem. On the 10th, we'll have a full team meeting, and I'll set the times up so the people in Europe and the people in the States and nobody's not losing sleep and I'm not cutting in any school time. So we'll have a full team meeting. It's just the players and the coaches, and we'll break out in breakout rooms. There'll be a defensive room and a offensive room. Now, some of the offensive players may play defense. Some of the defense players may play offense. We'll set it up where to the point where they can get both rooms get the same attention. So don't stress about that. And then the last time that I'm going to try, hopefully I can solidify this, is submit the uniform list to the home offices. I want the valid list that I went through with everybody and everybody's checked off after I put it in a Google Doc. You'll go in and you'll check it off saying, yep, you got it right, Coach, or nope, Coach, this is not right. Then that's the part where we'll be able to flip the script and make sure that we got the uniforms correct before it goes out because they got to fly with all those uniforms and bring them over. We want to make sure we got this right. And then another Zoom call with skills. Then once we get in country, we'll start having our team training, which we'll have chalkboard walkthroughs. And then we'll have a couple days here. We'll walk through practice. By the time we get here and get in our first game, they'll know how to do it. We've done this 100 times. They'll be ready to go. The offense is not simple, but it's not complicated either. And then it's 2 games a day all the way to Sunday. And then whoever wins the most games ends up with the cup. They used to have a playoff system and they got rid of it. So now it's you play everybody. And at the end of it, whoever wins the most games, the thing is, it's like the SEC. Don't lose. All right, the Southeastern Conference, SEC. Don't lose. All right, and then everyone will travel home. After that, whatever dates. Guys, I'm not managing anybody's lives here. I'm not going to tell you guys what not to go see. I'm going to give everybody a list of places they can go see. Trier, Luxembourg. There's a lot of areas right around where we're at that you can go see that are gorgeous. If you guys get there early, go to Paris. Make the best of the trip. I speak German. There'll be multiple. We got about 3 or 4 people that actually speak German, so there won't be no issue. Our goal is to get you from Frankfurt, get you to Amsterdam, get the kids geared up, have a great time playing ball, get some footage, some film, some exposure. And at that point, Is there any comments out there that I missed or anything that you guys think, let me know, because I know you guys can't talk to me because it's a webinar and I'm talking to you, but make sure you put them in the comments bar. But somebody give me a thumbs up if I think I've covered everything, or if I'm missing something. I'm going to sit here for a second to answer any questions. Okay, so the 14U, they have their own team, and that's going to be Coach Dodds, and he's running that team. But I think I actually have a 14 that he just turned 15. He's going to be playing with me. All right. Hey, Coach Pack. Oh, thank you, Thomas. I appreciate that. All right. So everybody has my email, and it's vince@embracethepower.org. Vince at embracethepower.org, and it's one word. And most of you guys just shoot me an email on it. This is a great time and a great experience for the players, everyone. If I missed anything or if I haven't reached out to you, please, please, please let me know. I hope this cleared up everything. I will definitely be pushing out the slide deck to you guys later today so everybody gets it. What you can do in my email, do me a great favor. Put your email in the chat bar so when I send out the slide deck, I can go through and make sure that I got your email address. So that way I know who was here, and that helps me out greatly. So if you're on here, either put one central email that the person in the family that actually reads their email, because me and my wife, I read certain emails and she reads certain emails. So if you can do that, I'd appreciate it. And at that point, I have nothing else for everybody. I hope I didn't take up too much of your time. Boom. All right.